Mike Pirlack here to entertain you with the help of Marty Simon. Yo hey yo ba do ba gee. Yo hey Roger do ba gee. Yo hey yo ba do ba gee. Yo hey Roger do ba gee. Yo hey yo ba do ba gee. Yo hey Roger do ba gee. Yo hey yo ba do ba gee. Yo hey Roger do ba gee. The episode The Rock basically turns the Brooding G fighting song into a kind of Irish or Scottish jig. Yo, hey, yo, ra-da-doo-ba-dee. Anyways, okay, episode 4.06, an episode called The Rock. But before I get into that, I wanted to go back to 4.05, and I forgot to, I figured out something later at the end of that episode. Survivor. Kai will not, at the end of that one, Kai will not reach the island in time to save Stan and Zev. So you could say that the carrot prove alien things being distracted by the carrots being turned into carrot juice via a blender on that boat or yacht, whatever it was kind of an act of God or nature for you non-believers. I also wanted to mention, as a fan of the show and everything, I really like the way, and this has happened quite a few times in the series, like when I like the way that the Kai character will subtly tilt his head in silence in response to an inquiry from Stan or Zev. They'll ask him something and he'll just kind of like be silent and just kind of tilt his head. It's just a subtle thing. It's humorous. So, the episode The Rock, episode 4.06. At the very beginning of the episode, Stanley H. Tweedle announces Transylvania, what they're on their way to go to, for something that Kai wants to check out. Can wait. Transylvania can wait. Because he wants to go to Newfoundland when he learns that the landmass down there is Newfoundland. And he has a reason for that. So they land the moth on top of on a mountain range top, and they go to meet Stan's subjects. They don't really take to his claim that he is their new king kindly. One lady even slaps him. That's no way to treat your new king, Stanley says. So, a few episodes back, the president made Stanley H. Tweedle think that Newfoundland was an island paradise. But in reality, it is a cold and snowy place. and Prince still has ATF people, alcohol, tobacco, and firearm people, still looking out for the LEXX crew. Prince says to the president, "Do you remember your pathetic attempt to kill me, Mr. President?" I think so. Yes, my friend. Well, you made Stanley H. Tweedle king of Newfoundland, and it seems that the king has come to claim his throne. Now's your chance to fix your treachery against your prince. Essentially, what he says. Enter Bunny, a character we haven't seen since season 3. Not 100% the same carefree, high on life Bunny as in season 3, but she does have the same basic aura. And she loves the president with a passion. She calls him the most interesting man in the free world. But must fill her loyalty to the presidency by going to Newfoundland and seducing Stan to stay on Earth for Prince's benefit. As unlikable as the extraterrestrial Stanley H. Tweedle is, the terrestrial version of him, a guy named Brud, Brood, is even more of a tool. And I don't mean the band. They're awesome. All kinds of folks on Newfoundland are gunning for this guy Brood. He's, for one reason or another, he's not a nice guy. But the earthly Stanley H. Tweedle is a musician, I guess. He's not a very good one. He's in a tavern that sings and plays a song that apparently he wrote and everything. It's not a. This is not a Christmas show officially, but the song that this character, this earthly Stanley H. Tweedle, Brud character, sings, he sings in the tune of "What Child Is This?" But the song goes, "Oh happy hour, oh happy hour, I wish every hour was happy hour." What the? I guess there's something to be said for cheap entertainment. But to evade the folks that he cost money, at one point in the story, he hides in what I thought was the Irish cream. Turns out it was fish batter. Yuck. But he had to hide in the fish batter to hide from those who want to strangle him. So in this show, when the locals refer to Security Guard Class 4, the Stanley, we as LEXX fans of the show LEXX have all come to know, but not necessarily like, when they call him, the locals call him Brood, the name of this character, this earthly guy who looks exactly like Stan, basically the earthly version of Stan. He thinks it's a greeting. Boy, all these people are calling me Brood. Must be a greeting around here. So, anyways, this earthly Stan, the dude named Brood, for plot convenience, overhears all of them talking about talking about leaving Earth because maybe it's not good after all, and it's just basically you explain, that they're not from here and everything. But this earthly Stan Brood guy overhears all this for plot convenience. But then that's when Bunny shows up to this tavern or pub or whatever. It's called the Priest Hole. It's also an inn. Bunny knows and remembers the LEXX crew, and even knows and remembers that Kai is dead. So Santa's reaction is, "This sure is an interesting planet." Kai concludes that she is either the Bunny they knew from Season 3, Reborn, or an architect bunny, which at this point I'm still working on figuring out what the heck that means. And in any event, her Bunny's explanation to how she knows all of them is quite vague at this arc in the storytelling. Also, a kind of role reversal is going on in this episode, because it's usually Stan who wants to give up on the quest and go back to the LEXX, but here it's Zev who is has lost hope and finding happiness on Earth, but also being part cluster lizard, one could conclude that she is having a more difficult time with the cold temperature than Stan is. In Season 3, she was able to handle the heat. Not indefinite, but to a more of a degree than Stan was on the planet Fire. But that said, Stan's only real motivation for coming to Newfoundland is because he's got that document. It's basically scribbled, and it's basically just scribble and the president's signature, declaring him king of the place. That's the only reason they wanted to stop there in the first place. Oh, incidentally, back to Zev handling the cold temperature. I would imagine alcohol and being drunk is probably helping Zev stay warm on Newfoundland. But another debate they do have in the pub, because normally, Kai, the dead do not want, so why all of a sudden do you want to go to Transylvania? But the point is, Kai doesn't want to go to Transylvania. He is being driven, in the contents of this series, of the storytelling and everything, he is being driven by outside forces to follow what he perceives to be the destiny of the Brunanji, his people. Bunny, after stating to them that she wants them to stay. This is her whole point of coming to this tavern in Newfoundland via Chopper 1, United States Air Force, to come to this priest hole of a tavern in Newfoundland. Because she's there and she wants them for Prince's benefit. She's supposed to get them to stay. She arranges to meet Stanley later, and that's where I'm going to end part 1 of LEXX 4.06. Mike Perlak, thank you for your time. And now back to some classical music. Yo, yo, hey, yo, ba-da-doo, ba-da-doo, yo, hey, ba-da-doo, ba-da-doo, yo, hey, yo, ba-da-doo, ba-da-doo, yo, hey, ba-da-doo, ba-da-doo, yo, hey, ba-da-doo. Yeah, they basically turned the fighting song into an Irish or Scottish jig.